Alright guys, we're back with our notes on distributive property. This is this is video number 2 with it, so we're using these notes where we have. And we left you off last time by just doing the basic distributive property, which, just to kind of remind yourself again, was that we multiply the outside term by the inside term, and we could simplify that down that way. We had to be careful also to be able to watch our signs and be able to put those things together. So this is with our distributive property. Now we're going to take it a step further with these, and we're going to simplify these with distributive property and combining your like terms. So we're going to practice some of these here with these, and these are what these problems 9 through 14 do. They have distributive property, and then some also have the combined like terms with them. So what we need to do first is we're going to look at number 9. And when you look at this problem, we have to be able to know how to say this. We'll zoom in here so you can take a look at it here. It says 2 times the quantity 3f plus 12, then added to the f, or 1f. So if you remember order of operations say we do what's inside the parentheses first, and you can see that I can't combine these two together. So I have to do the multiplication, which this part right here would be my distributing property. So I'm going to distribute first and then combine like terms when I do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do distributing. So I'm going to distribute first, and then after I distribute, I can look to see if I have any combining like terms. So if you remember what distributing property was, it was taking the outside term and multiplying it by each of the inside terms. So what I have here is I have 2 times 3f plus 2 times 12. And when I do that, I get 2 times 3 gives me 6f, plus 2 times 12 gives me 24. But remember, I have this f also that is left, and that's 1f, if you want to think about it. But now I'm not done yet, because I can still clean it up more. I'm going to combine like my terms now. And my terms that I'm going to combine are my 6f and my 1f now. When I do 6f plus 1f, it's going to give me 7f plus 24. And now I have solved and have cleaned up that term, and it is now distributed, it is now combined together, and everything is good to go. And that is my simplified form. So you notice there that I'm going to do my distributive property first, then I'm going to combine like terms second. Alright, so if I look at my next one, number 10, it's the same way. I read it as 3 times something, x, plus 2 times 9 minus 8x, and it's all in parentheses. So this is the part right here that I'm going to start with, because that's my distributing. So I'm going to distribute. And I'm going to distribute this 2 to the 9, and I'm going to distribute the 2 to the negative 8. And then I'm going to combine my x's together if I have any. So I do 2 times 9 minus 2 times 8 x. And I'm going to end up getting my answer there to be 18 minus 16x, and I still have the plus 3x that comes down. So this is going to come down still, because I haven't done anything with it yet. Now I can find and see where I need to combine my terms together. So I'm going to combine my like terms. I've got my negative 16x, and I'm going to combine it with my like term of 3x. And what happens there, I have 3x, take away 16x, which leaves me with a negative 13 plus 18. Okay, and there it is. Simplified all together. All right. Number 11, same type of way. I'm looking for my distributive property first. It's the part that has the multiplication, and you can see it is right here. It's just saying I want negative 10 as my factor, and I'm taking negative 10 by all of this that's inside my parentheses. So I'm taking negative 10 times 3.25c and negative 10 times 5.5. Then I can tack on the 20 at the very end when I subtract it and combine my terms. So I'm going to distribute first. So when I do negative 10 times 3.25, that's going to give me a negative 32.5C. Then I take the negative 10 again, because remember it's multiplying by everything inside. Negative 10 times the 5.5, that's going to give me a negative 55 minus 20. Now remember, the 20 stays there because I didn't multiply by anything, I didn't add by anything. We haven't touched it yet, so it's still there. It just comes on down. Now I look and I'm going to combine my terms together, CLT, and my terms that I'm going to combine together here are the negative 55 and the minus 20. I put those together, I should have 32.5C. Then I have negative 55 minus negative 20. That's going to give me negative 75. And that would be my solution. I'm done. So that's it. So I distributed first, then I combine my terms. That's just the steps. Distribute, then combine. Distribute, then combine. That's what I need to look at first. So I'll look at my last example here with this one. I've got another problem here, even though it's written out backwards. It says 13 take away 2 times the quantity 4 times g plus 6. So I need to find my distributive property. My distributive property is right here. That's my distributing property. I'm going to distribute that first. So what am I distributing? I'm distributing a negative 2, because remember, watch my signs. It's a sign in behind there in front of the 2 is a negative. It's not a positive 2. It's going to be a negative 2. So I'm going to take that negative 2, and I'm going to take it to the 4, and I'm going to take the negative 2 to the 6. So let's show some work here. So I'm going to have my 13. He's by himself. Nothing happens to him. I do negative 2 times 4, which gives me negative 8g. Negative 2 times 6, it's going to give me negative 12. Now what do I need to put together? Now I can clean it up by putting together my combining like terms, my 13 and the negative 12. So I have 13 take away 12. It gives me 1, and so I have negative 8g plus 1. Cleaned it up. 13 take away 12 is 1. The negative 8g is by itself because it doesn't have a combined like term. So I'm good to go. So when you do problems that look a little bit different than your regular distributive property like we did up here in 7 and 8 and so, find the distributive property first, perform that, then combine your terms together. The reason behind that is distributive property is multiplication. And multiplication always comes before addition. So I would do my multiplication first, then do my addition or my subtraction, which is your combining like terms. Alright? So number 13 here says, what is the area of the rectangle? Well, area is just length times width. And so my width here and my length is right there. So it's just basically, if I wanted to write it out, it's 13.2 times 3x plus 2. And look what happens there. That's basically a distributing property. Took my area formula, length times width. There's my width. Multiplying it by my length. It turns into a distributive property. So what I do now is I just would multiply the 13.2 by both of those. So 13.2 times 3x plus 13.2 times 2. When I do that, I get my solution there. You can use my handy dandy calculator to help me with that multiplication. 13.2 times 3 is 39.6 with the variable x. And then 13.2 times 2 is 26.4. And that is my expression for the area of that rectangle there. Same thing with the last one here, number 14, area. Well, what is area again? Area is length times width. So here's my width, here's my length. I'm going to rewrite it down using my formula. So what do I know? I know that it's going to be 4x minus 5. Put it in parentheses because I'm multiplying it by 20. So 20 times 4x and 20 times a negative 5. Watch my sign, it's a negative 5. So 20 times 4x and then 20 times the negative 5. When I do that, it gives me 80x minus 100. It tells me my solution for my expression when I simplify those. Because remember what it says, I could show it to you if I wanted to. I could write out 20 of these things. I want 20 of those things. So it would be like 4x minus 5, 4x minus 5. Do that 20 times. And you can add them all up and it would give you 80x and a negative 100. So that's what basically this is going to be doing. Remember, distributing first and then combine like terms second. So to summarize what we're going to do here is the distributive property, what we talked about before, is multiply the outside term by all inside terms. You're also going to do the distributive property before combining like terms. So this one comes first, that one will come second. Because this deals with multiplication, this deals with add and subtract. And we are combined, and our rule from order of operations tells us we have to do it that way. Alright, so there's that. You now have this paper here that you can work on using your full gamut, your full array of notes that you have been given to you. Go back and look at them, show your work and practice them, and especially be careful when you do numbers 5, 6, 10, and 9, and 8 because they got distributing property and combining like terms. Okay? Be careful when you do those. You might have some other ones there as well that have combining like terms as well that you can put together. So please be careful with them, take your time with them, and see how you can do. All right, thank you.